I just wanted to provide an update on the progress of my projects from the books I do to the videos. Now, what I said before was I'll be working on multiple books at the same time because I have multiple manuscripts. I've decided not to go down that path because it will betray me. I have the potential to do it, but it would just make the existing project, the one that should be the sole focus, it just takes that a little bit longer. There's no need. So even if I get ideas and I think about investing time into um, working on the other projects, I'm just not going to go there. I'm just going to keep myself on point, focused on what I need to do. So, with that in mind, I've said before that the new book I expect to release by the end of June, July. In all honesty, I think it could come out sooner. I'm not putting stupid pressure on myself, but I am aware of how fast I operate. Like, for instance, at bare minimum now, I'm editing one chapter per day. But I looked and I thought, well, if you really, really focus, you can get an awful lot done quicker. And this is what I'm like. It's like I don't like things in the way. So a huge commitment to something could be the catalyst for it to just get done so much faster. And that's a benefit, of course. So you'll lose a window of time. You'll literally lose that time, but you gain so much freedom after, and that's how my mind works. Obviously, you can hold yourself prisoner constantly with the weight on your shoulders and you keep delaying and delaying. You do a little small section here, small section there. All of a sudden, it's taking longer, but look at all the time you lost. You weren't free in that period. And once I get creative and it really starts to absorb my mind, I want to do it. So, like I say, I'm looking and I'm thinking, not only can you do one chapter a day, edit that, I think I have the potential to do up to 4, maybe even 5 if I really focused. Now, there's not going to be days when I'm going to want to do that much. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I'm looking at the sort of my chapter list. I've got the laptop here. I've got the work here. I've got my. I can't see. Well, you ain't better see it all. But anyway, I'm looking at the chapter list. We do one a day. Yep, that's that week. Yep, that's that week. That's that week. Maybe 5 weeks, I guess. I mean, I'm just only offhand comment, really. 5, maybe if you're doing it at one a day, maybe it's going to be 5, 6 weeks. That's just rough guessing here. I'm not doing the extra maths. But of course, if you do 2 a day, you're halving that. But of course, if you start doing more and more, let's say you can get 4. Let's be realistic. Let's say you can get 3 or 4. All of a sudden, you just streamline the whole process. And that's where I'm at. Now, some people, they might be surprised that I can still do the videos at the same time. Now, it's not going to be a case of whether I can do the videos at the same time. It's going to be whether I want to do the videos at the same time. That's where it comes to. It's not hard for me to do the videos. These videos I do, they're literally, everything's off the cusp. So all it is, I just get an idea in my mind, and straight away I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. And then I just set everything up quickly. It takes me like a couple of minutes, or whatever, if the computer's already on. So I just, get everything all ready, make sure the microphone's working, make sure my headset's got noise cancelling, because that's all I want. I just like to clear everything off in my head, like everything around me. I just want focus. So there's nothing coming out my speaker headphones. It's literally just noise cancelling, which is important to me. And then I just focus on the topic I've got to talk about. So in that sense, it's not hard for me to just record because I'm only talking for the best part 20, 30 minutes, maybe up to an hour, depending how long the video, of course, is. But then that's all it's cost me. I've not prepared. I'm not having to lose time to prepare for anything. It's literally, that's just a small window of my time. And then I got on with other things. So, of course, still I enjoy sport, I like gaming, but it's to reduce more of the unnecessary, which is like less of the distractions, and more focus on just being productive. That's all it is. And it's not that much of a change. For instance, a lot of people, myself included at times, you can find yourself on social media just scrolling all day, or quite a lot, longer than you think. And if you negate a lot of that, you can be productive in your own time. And then you can start achieving your goals. And that's really why I just want to do the video, really. It was just to show people that you can go after your dreams. It's not that far out of the realm of possibility. It's just about being pragmatic and taking those steps forward. Because eventually what you do, you end up inspiring yourself. So what started as an obstacle or a burden, all of a sudden, you're sort of putting yourself in it, and now all of a sudden it's creative. And creative makes you passionate. It brings you alive. And that's where I'm up to here. So especially when I see the progress of it, I get really excited in my own self. Like when I see the progress, I'm like, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Then I look and think, wait a minute, you've done a good. Like so far, I've done about 3 or 4 chapters at the point editing. because I only just got back to it, and I'm like, I love that chapter. And then I think about the chapter I did previously, and I'm like, oh, I love that one. That was a good chapter too. And once I start recognizing there's a good few chapters that I absolutely love them, then it's like, oh yeah, now okay, this is definitely worth investing our time in now, because I'm aware of how proud it's going to make me. I'm going to want to read it myself, and I like that. I like to be able to read my books sometimes, um, and I know how much it's going to help people. The right people, of course. When it, like any topic, it's subjective to the audience. It's like not everybody likes. I've said this before. Not everybody likes Harry Potter, for instance. It's like not everybody's going to like your work, but it's not for everybody. But those that are interested or do need it, it's important that I create it. So yeah. So at the moment, yeah, the plan is to really heavily throw myself into my work. I will, of course, be taking breaks and enjoying myself. I've got certain video games I like playing, and I've got some sports I enjoy catching up with, and things like that. And I always listen to music. So there's all sorts of things you do around. It's not like you're just like obsessed. But if you take away the distractions or reduce the distractions, um, less on the mundane, I guess, than the unnecessaries. It's just more on focused on what you can achieve. All of a sudden, you're doing something. You're doing something quite remarkable. So yeah, I think the progress people witness, it might come as a surprise. Especially someone, let's say 2 weeks ago, someone's just last saw my content. They didn't even see me working on a book. In fact, I was probably saying I'm not doing the book. And then maybe by a month or month and a half later or something, the new book's getting released. They'll be like, how the hell did that happen? And that's really what it's like. But it looks far more remarkable than I guess it is. Because it's just, again, it's just about being pragmatic and just being, making the most of the time you have. It's like I say, what it is, I'm surprising myself. So I'm going through the edit phase, and it's like a lot to work on, and I'm like, damn, this is a mess. But it's like you can either let it consume you and go, this is overwhelming, or you just say, right, I'm just getting on with this. Let's just start breaking it down. Let's start working it out. So as I'm going through this, I'm making edits, I'm making changes, I'm putting fresh content in it, I'm reworking everything, and by the end, I'm loving it. And I'm thinking, how long did that take me? Oh, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Huh. Okay, it was a bit stressful at the beginning, but it makes more sense towards the end. But if it took 2 hours, we can easily fit a couple more of these in, can we not? And obviously, but I don't want to jump. I mean, it's understanding the process for each of us. For me personally, I don't want to go from one edit, a huge pressure point, and then go straight into another one. So there'll be breaks. I'll go make myself a hot drink. I'll distract myself with something else for a little bit, and then maybe give myself an hour or two, and then go back and do another one. So then it's not so remarkable, is it? It's just like you're just focused on working. You're just getting it done. You're not making making excuses anymore. So all of a sudden, I'm looking at the time frame of that. We're what, the 11th of May, and I actually genuinely think, because I know how my mind works. I know once I'm focused, it's like this is it. This is it. I'll still do other things, but I don't. I get it's almost like a guilt, but it's like personal to me. It's not like I don't feel guilty to other people. It's more for myself. It's more. I don't think guilt's the word. I don't know. It's that that sort of frame mind though. It's almost like you're letting yourself down or something. It's just there's no. That's what you like. For instance, if you distract yourself with things, is that thing really worth your time and effort when you could be achieving something quite remarkable? And then that thing that was distracting you, it just seems silly now. You know. So like I say, I can still do things, but it'll be less. Those little distractions are going to be less significant, because I'll realize, don't do that so long. Don't do that so long. You don't need to lose yourself to that again. You've lost enough time. You'd have lost enough time. Let's just go back and do that, and then I'll get it done. So what I'm saying is, I think by the end of May, I think the majority of the book will be done, or at least half, because what it is, this book I've got now is there's some really, really, really long chapters at the end that I've got to really get through, and they're going to be the ones that bring me to a standstill. So all of a sudden, it's going to take me it might take me a couple of days per chapter on them, just because I know the amount of work it's going to need, and I've got to get the book down. So this book currently sits at 330,000 words, which is absolutely horrendous. That's more like an archive of books. That's more like a compendium. I've got to get it down to a book. And that's why I say them chapters are going to need me to really, really hone in and work on it. We'll see what happens with it, of course. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. But on the side of that, I will still do if there's a topic I want to talk about, I'll still do it in the videos. So effectively, if you see I'm doing the videos, it doesn't mean I'm not doing the books, because I'm definitely doing the books. The videos are only an hour of my time, half an hour. It's not much, even less, depending on obviously how long the video is. But it's definitely not a case of if you see me doing videos, I'm not doing the books anymore. That's not the case at all. The books are priority. Um, and likewise, if I'm doing the books, it doesn't mean I'm not doing videos. So it's the same way around. I'm just working in unison with both projects. It's just like I say, I take breaks between the chapters. So let's say I want to take a break from writing just for a bit, like an hour or two. And I think, you know what, the distractions you was going to do are a bit pointless. You just need a break from what you're doing, and I can just put the camera on and just talk anyway. So that can happen in between the chapters. All of a sudden, you're doing two things at once. You know, you're creating video content to create an archive on your platform, and you're also doing the books to build a library. So like I say, I've got 6 books so far. This is going to be the 7th book. It's quite exciting. I am making a new series on TikTok, and it's not necessarily going to be fresh videos. I don't know yet. Again, I never know if I'm going to ever create. When I create videos, I don't have a plan for the foreseeable future of like, oh, I've got this planned for tomorrow. If I've got a plan to do a video, I'll do it there and then. So like, if it dries up, it dries up. It's just while I'm inspired to do videos. But I recognise in some of the videos, they deserve their own category. Like I did one about speaking yesterday. I've done others on the writing process. And I just think that they deserve their own playlist category on my profile. So what I'm going to do as well is create a new cover art for that. So I'll change the cover art on the specific videos and make a new playlist specifically for that category, where people like I see it as leveling up. So that might help people. So people come on my platform, you'll see things like society and politics. You know it's going to be stuff about just the world. There's things going on in the world. And you'll also get the talks one, which is personal growth. You also get my spirituality ones. So you know when you go to certain categories, that's very specific content. And then I think it's important that I just, rather than blend all those other videos in, let's get a level up one where you know if you go there, there's going to be a chance for you to maybe grow within your professional career, whether it's your ability to articulate, look at things, mannerisms. And I think that video, I absolutely love that video. I thought it was rubbish when I was recording it. That's why I said at the end, don't know if anyone even got this was even worth recording. I watched it back and I thought that's actually really good. There was a couple of bits where I rambled and I cut. I don't normally cut my videos, but I was like, God damn, that was annoying. So I just cut a couple of bits out and boom, it was good. Just trying to think if I'm missing anything really. So yeah, anyway, there's always me growing. There's always me working, building on the projects. But I do love the idea that one day it does slow down, because I would love a rest, a genuine rest. That'd be nice. I'd love a holiday. I desperately want a holiday. But yeah, I don't want to digress too far. But I think I deserve those things, when the projects are finished. It's like I deserve a moment. But like I said, I've got other manuscripts. So this is how I am, I've got other manuscripts in development. We've got at least 2 more books. There's more books after that. That's the thing. I say 2 more books because they're already ready. They all just need the edit process. But if we start jumping everywhere, nothing gets done. It just delays the whole everything, And after they're done, I know full well there's going to be chapters left to do. There's already loads of work to add. So even those books will have follow-up books. They will definitely have follow-up books. There may be a follow-up book to the spiritual one. I'm not sure. At least there wouldn't be one soon. I'd rather let things develop and then see what experiences I have and have new things happen, and then we'll talk more on an advanced stage of that. That one would be, there's years between those ones. I think that makes sense. But the personal growth, there's always something to talk about in life. So I'm sure there'll be another one on that, because there's like 4. Once that one comes out, because that'll be the next book after this one. So if this one's spiritual, then we get another one on personal growth development. And I think in like another year or so after that one, or so, there'll be another one, because I know the chapters are there. So that'd be really cool. So there'll be 5 of them eventually. So there's always them. And then I've got the one that I said where I'm writing about history and potentially pushing that towards mythology as well. I'm excited about that because it's just a different area. So I've literally got a decade's worth of books, left to right. That's how I see it. And then I've also got a novel. I've got an idea for it. But for that, I would have to have, I think that'll be a lot when I'm a bit older. I don't know. I don't even know if it'll ever happen, because it's something that's going to be, it depends where I am in life, the time I have to commit to it. Because to be honest, by then I might just want to relax. It's like I really don't know where life. You don't know where life takes you, do you? But I already have the concept in mind. I have a vision of what it would be like to an extent. And then if I was obviously developing it, I think it would just come to life and it'd be like, that's exciting for me. Pushes me outside my comfort zone. It's a new avenue, but it's not something that's set in stone. It's not like if I did, it's not one of those things that if I didn't finish it or didn't actually achieve that, I would have regrets. It's you could only do the most you can with time. I think I'm doing enough with what I'm doing. That's just a side project if I can get to it one day. If not, but I think it's always good to have these little minor goals, these little other avenues you can sort of develop. But for now, let's focus on getting this book out. So keep your eyes peeled. It's between, I think the end of May is a bit too ambitious. I think if I didn't have the big chapters at the end, I really have to hammer. I really have got to go through them. If I didn't have them, I think it would be possible. And not in a rushed state, it would be possible. And then, um, yeah, it would have come out then. But I think personally, let's just give it to the end of June and surprise people when it comes out sooner. I actually think it'd be out by the middle of June, which is quite crazy, really, because I wasn't even working on it recently. And I think that's the thing. I think that might be the thing that surprises people, how fast they to get things done. But again, it's just a focus on the projects. And that's what I just want to inspire people to do, though. Don't make excuses in your life. Don't keep delaying things and get on with it. Again, I talk about it a lot. You can procrastinate for a period. I think there's too much. You don't put added pressure on yourself, but it's be realistic as well. So you can go through periods where you just don't want to do something, but then like eventually you have to get up and do it. Now, the only reason I've delayed is because I've already done 6 books. I haven't seen enough success from those books yet to make me excited to just go through the whole phase again. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice. So in my mind, I'm like, I can have this done, but there's already work. So I'm just going to relax. And then you relax enough and you think, well, I'm going to do it for me now because I kind of want to get it done. So, yeah, from that point, I felt justified. But if I hadn't done any books, oh, for crying out loud. If I hadn't done any books, then yeah, I would have been focused a lot sooner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a little bit of what I've just done now. I don't think it was that chapter. I had it already. I'm not going to start at the beginning of the chapter because I don't want to reveal everything. But I thought I'd give it a go and you can see where I'm working. I'm happy with this chapter. I've greenlit it, but when I say greenlit it, it still means go through again later. So it's one of those where I want to give myself an idea of how far I am forward. If I start saying everything's broken, then I'm just going to keep looking, thinking it's too much work to do. But it's not because it's not broken. It might still need some fine tuning later, but again, I'm going to go through every chapter at the end of the book. And some of these might get moved around. For instance, within this chapter specifically, there's certain areas where I was like, "Oh, I like that," and I might take a paragraph here, a paragraph there, and I might put them as an introduction because I think they were so powerful. I was like, that would be a great start to the book. Now, I was debating whether I'm going to have an introduction in this book. I normally do, but I might not. Or an author's note. I usually do things like that just to introduce the book, but I'm not sure I'm even going to. I haven't decided yet because sometimes it's like you've done all the effort to do the book, you've done all the chapters, and sometimes it's a case of I don't like selling myself. It's like the work's there, but then I always feel like I should introduce something. So this one is my spiritual book, but this chapter was slightly. It wasn't totally spiritual, but it was introducing people to the fact that it's your path, it's your life. So there's like a real important part where you invest in yourself and don't worry about other people's projections and things like that. So there is that it's not always going to be about all these magical experiences you have. It's going to be the grounding side as well, like the side where you have to exist with this. So that was interesting. So I thought this was the second chapter so far. Again, things can move around. So let's not say this is set in stone. I don't want to do too much, to be honest. Okay, we'll do it from here. We'll do halfway. I'm not gonna do this every time I do a chapter, by the way. I'm not revealing everything. I'm just gonna be working. But because I'm already recording, I might as well just share some of what I've done here. It's gonna be hard for me to read, like I've said before. I wish I had my thing. God damn. I've got a thing that can go here. Let me just pause so I can find my stand to make it easy for me to read. Right, so that's better. So now I've got this stand. You see this stand I got? So it actually elevates it to a nice height so I can actually read now. That was so annoying. When you bend down your neck, I can't handle that. Oh, where the hell was I though? trying to think. Right. Bear in mind, this is halfway through the chapter now. Sharing our story gives people the strength to explore and share their stories. When I began my spiritual journey, I shared it, and it should be recognized that mistakes will happen. Perfection doesn't exist. Just be open minded to everything. Not only have I shared and documented my journey, but I've also taught my daughter everything I've learned, and she's discovered gifts of her own, and she's had experiences I haven't had yet. We can have similar gifts and different experiences. It's essential to embrace our journey whilst being open to discovering more, which can be helped by listening and learning from others, while always using discernment. After all, not everything someone says may be true. So it's always important to trust our intuition and form our judgment regarding life, purpose, and more. Build a narrative that makes sense and decipher everything learned along the journey throughout life. Often things intertwine, and there are life lessons in everything from tragedy and trauma to happiness and blessings. We learn humility, gratefulness, resilience, boundaries, and that we deserve happiness and fulfillment. Opinions on life will change as we grow and evolve. It's essential to understand that the wisdom we gain in the future only comes from our experiences, which led us to that moment, so we don't need to regret the past. Instead, we should embrace and learn from it. We're never alone, and the universe communicates with us in many ways, including synchronicities such as number patterns, songs, and animals. Each of us has unique spirit guides assigned to us, and they know the best way to get our attention and what we can comfortably decipher. So language barriers and cultural differences don't matter. Those are irrelevant human conditions. We're all souls having a human experience, so treating people differently because of alienating factors doesn't make sense, because it's like attacking ourselves. Any of us could have been born into any gender, location, religion, or sexual orientation. But we acquire the vessel we have specifically for the journey to fulfill our life path. To try to understand someone else's path, why they have more or less, is pointless. We should be focused on our life path and achieving everything we're supposed to accomplish, which is unique to each of us. I've discovered my life path, and while some people will likely be jealous at various stages, it ignores the journey it took me to become this version of myself, the version which exists in the future, and the challenges to overcome. I've been assigned my life path because my soul is evolved enough to handle it. For others, they may have a more challenging path, with perhaps superior blessings, whilst others may achieve less and it might not make sense. But as I stated, it's not for us to understand others' paths in depth. All that matters is that we know our own and embrace everything we need to encounter and to evolve. I may get recognition or criticism throughout life, and others will too. But I'm aware I don't experience life alone. My spirit guides and the divine community, including angels, archangels, ascended masters, and the Council of Light, contribute to my progress. So nothing I do is done solo, but a collective effort with Source. I merely follow my intuition, their guidance, and process experience into wisdom. But again, I don't do this alone. I'm always guided and inspired, so they deserve acknowledgement as much as I do. I'm merely the tool used for them to paint the canvas, and in essence, we all are, and everyone has a unique part to play. I just want to change the font here a minute. It's so small for my eyes right now. It's hurting me. It's hurting me. Oh, that's better. So, to return to those who are harmful and destructive, especially religious fanatics critical of spiritual practices, I wonder what support they receive in their lives, what signs and synchronicities appear, because I believe most of them are charlatans, reacting out of frustration and misunderstanding their life paths. They posture as enlightened, but their behaviours suggest otherwise, because it's not love and light. I've never understood why people act powerful at the expense of others by making them submissive. I prefer to inspire people to believe in themselves and witness them grow and achieve remarkable things. Having a positive impact on people makes me proud, so I don't gatekeep anything. I share what I know and have experienced. Beyond that, it's up to people to interpret and incorporate what they deem proper. I'll also experience similar by meeting mentors and people I can learn from. Fortunately, I'm always open to learning and evolving, but I'm also independent and confident. So I'm not gullible and discern my beliefs. There's always room to grow and, of course, improve through a continuous healing journey. People will inevitably challenge our beliefs. Anything unfamiliar challenges others' conditioning and ways of life. But rather than get too defensive, we should understand that we lived with life. Wait a minute. We should understand that we lived with similar ignorance at one point. We shouldn't lose sight of who we were at various stages of life. So how we react is entirely our choice, and each circumstance will likely garner a unique reaction. Sometimes we may react negatively to attacks, while others shrug them off without wasting time or energy explaining anything. Ultimately, it's not our responsibility to explain or convince anyone of anything. And pride and ego can be our downfall. They cause so much hate and anger. People feel honor is everything, but they misplace honor as ego when honor is integrity. They are entirely different. It's not a weakness to walk away from negative situations. Instead, it takes substantial strength, and that in itself demonstrates profound growth and evolution. Always seek to be humble. Never get ahead of ourselves or feel better than anyone else. Too many people constantly compare themselves to others and instigate competitions that don't exist. It's so pointless. But they can't help themselves because their insecurities seek to validate their success. Validation for low vibrational people is to believe they are better than others, and in being like that, they've lost sight of reality, perhaps never having sight of it. Placing importance on something irrelevant is a waste of life. But that's not for us to waste our time trying to solve. It's for those people to seek to grow and improve towards a higher vibration. Unfortunately, not everyone can be saved, at least in a lifetime. So as I said before, focus on our healing journey. People will witness the growth and decide whether they're attracted to the change, want to improve themselves, or maintain the status quo. Either way, others' lives are not our responsibility, and it only slows down our evolution trying to convince people of things they have no desire to hear. So, a couple of tongue ties there. So, like I said, you always go through a second wave of evidence anyway. So, there's a couple, very minor, very minor. There was just a couple of bits I thought, well, I might have to go, I will go over that again. And of course, that was only half the chapter, really. I think about half. So, I've got to make sure, actually, I've got to make sure the font stat matches. I just changed part of the font. And if I don't change it, imagine reading the book and you've got half a chapter is a different font size to the rest of the chapter. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So, obviously, standards are important. And, people, I think that was great. I listened to, I was impressed with it myself when I read it back. So from my side, I love it. Someone hearing it might not think it's very good. And it's like, that's fine. But I think at the end of the day, whenever you do any creation, you should be proud of it yourself because it helps you be balanced when you come up against any criticism. Because if you don't believe in something to begin with, and then someone says to you, oh, that's not very good, or it's rubbish, or whatever, they could be entirely negative, you already had no confidence in it. So it's just going to make you feel that it's not good enough, and it's going to make and it might actually be great. So for me, it's not comes from arrogance. It just comes from a confidence that I know I love that. So if people come at me and say, it's not very good, blah, 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 it's you're just projecting. Or you're not the target audience. It's fine. It's good. It's still fine. And that's why I'm strong, because I won't release something if I don't think it's good enough. And I won't finalize a chapter if it's not good. Do you know what I mean? So it's working. For me to say that's green, for me, that's finished, but it might need to very fine tuning. And we'll see. But like I said, I've got all these other chapters to get through now. Not all of them are in that quality. They are a mess. As I showed in one of my other videos, the work that goes into it to structure that is not for the faint of heart. So when I say I can do maybe 4 or 5 chapters, it's not like entirely fun. And I wouldn't say it doesn't come without its challenges. It's just if I want the book done and I set a target, then let's do it. Because in all honesty, I don't want the book overrunning into the summer holidays. Because after the summer holidays, we're getting towards autumn. You've got winter. It's like that's dragging on, man. It needs to be done. It needs to be done by July at the latest. But I think we're going to be much earlier than that because now I'm focused. And then that opens me up to, do I want to work on one of my the next project over the autumn winter? We'll see where life is. The plan is to do that, but at the same time, if it's next year, it's next year. But I just really want to inspire people, you know. It's just show them what I'm doing, and then it's up to them what they do. You don't have to match what I do, you know. You don't have to do everything I do. Everybody has their own distractions in life, their own ambitions, their own desires, you know. So just because one person does one thing doesn't mean you do that. And I've said that to people before, especially when it comes to writing. It's like, just because I do things fast, you're not. You don't feel pressured to do the same. You know, it's like there's no need to mirror me. It's just that I have a lack of patience in myself. That's where the problem comes. It's a lack of patience in myself because I have too many ambitions. So it's a hindrance. It'll get, if I keep delaying, it just always gets in the way, you know. And it's like, that's not good. Like I said, I've got all these other books in my head that need to get processed and finished, and then it clears me up, you know. So then I feel like fresh, and it's like, until that comes, I've got a weight on my shoulders all the time. So I just got to take the weight off, and the only way I'm going to take the weight off is by getting it done. And like I say, the videos I don't plan. Jesus, that's quite heavy. The videos I don't plan, I just do them while they're there. So I don't mind if I end up taking a break from it, then I don't mind one way or another, you know. But if I think there's a video I can do, there was a video I was actually going to do before we go on. It's off topic now, completely. This is completely different to that. But there was a video I was going to do, and I really wanted to do it, but it was about, I don't want to say it too much. There's just certain people on TikTok, for instance, and they find ways to get sympathy from the viewers, and they find ways to get money off them. And there's a specific person on TikTok that's found a very, I would consider it a manipulative way, but they might not have that intention, but I think they do. I think they know what they're doing. And they've got a loyal following now, so they do get protected. So if you was to talk about them, it would be a very hot topic because people feel they're vulnerable. And in all honesty, I'm aware they're vulnerable. So there's a manipulative side to the vulnerability. So I think they're naturally vulnerable, which is the only reason I'm not going there. I don't care about other people's reactions, but I don't want someone that's vulnerable to. I don't want to push someone over the edge that's vulnerable, if you like. But it was a topic I really wanted to talk about because I think there's an awareness of it. Like, for instance, if you was to make a video on TikTok and you made it look like, people feel sorry for you. There's a certain way of writing. And you've got a lot of attention off that, and you've got a lot of free products. So every one of your videos always has a very similar title in it. And it's like, you've just found a way to hook. It's like fishing. You've just found a way to get new people to see you and feel sorry for you. And guess what? So you've already had a group. I'm saying it now slightly, but I'm trying not to go too far. People send you free gifts. And you've got another bunch of people send you free gifts. All of a sudden, everybody's like, feeling sorry, but you just see these outbursts they have, and you just think, I don't think you're as pure as you say you are at all. But I do know I recognize they have problems, and you wouldn't want to do something. So if I was to talk on the topic with their content, for instance, because I'd need it really to validate and explain it deeper, I'm aware that would push them over the edge, and I think there's a responsibility there not to do that to someone. So I haven't done that video, and I really wanted to do it. I didn't care about reactions from others. It was more of the fact that I think it's important that we take responsibility too, though, and understand, is the message worth the suffering, the other side of that? Like, I can't guarantee how someone behaves towards themselves, and I think it's important. So I've not done that video. I may do it in the future if I feel it's definitely needed, but at the moment I'm like, I won't do that. So yeah, there might be times when I think about doing a video and I just don't do it. So yeah, the videos could slow down. I don't know. You know what I mean? The videos could slow down. They might not slow down. It just depends if I've got something to talk about beyond the books. Because at the minute I've got things to focus on.